I'm going to be doing some deep diving on some data here today. That is my goal. This has been a very long time coming for me. The gist is this. What I am kind of seeking here is just some kind of clarity or answer, just information, data to kind of help me resolve this kind of mental break that I'm experiencing with and I'm going to start by saying the K-pop industry, okay? Now, I know I'm just going to guess because people are people and that's fine. It's something we have to account for. Some of you are probably sitting here with lubed up fingers ready to go balls out in defense of K-pop. That's fine, okay? But understand, I'm not here to attack K-pop. I'm also not here to separate K-pop from Western pop or international music as a whole. I'm starting here because this is what has put me here. So I want to start there. If we get branched out later, that's fine, but I want to start with the K-pop industry. And what I'm kind of looking at is this kind of transition that has occurred over the past year. And it has resulted in some very spicy moments for me. Spicy being, we watch all of our videos, we're having a blast, we're deep diving stuff, we're finding some really incredible pieces of art, some great songs, our playlists are getting ridiculously long. And then every once in a while, if I haven't had my beans on toast, I get a little grumpy. And then we watch something that just hits me wrong. It just hits me wrong. And normally what happens is I take this subtle, subconscious, subtle. It's not subtle anymore. It used to be subtle. This subconscious kind of disillusionment and start to like project it onto the video that I'm watching. And normally what that disillusionment looks like is I get kind of irritated because something about this video that we're watching at the time makes me feel like the people on the screen are just kind of being used as puppets and they have no control. They can't do anything. Somebody's just running the levers. You know what I mean? And then I feel like a dummy because it's like, how dumb do you, like, I know this pattern. I know this formula. And it kind of irks me. So there's a lot of different levels to this. And I don't even know if the questions I'm going to ask are going to get us there to the end point, but we have to start somewhere. So you got to kind of bear with me as we go through this because I'm going to be question by answer just kind of as we go. And we are going to be talking to the robots today, in case you didn't know. Okay? Well, I can't get past the thought of no autonomy, yes, is part of it. Because I really do feel for the people that are on the screen. And sometimes I'm like, well, look, they knew what they were getting into, so what's the problem? But I don't know, man. It's like sometimes I feel so offended as a consumer when I realize that like some of these videos, in my opinion, yeah, they can be a fun video and it can be a bop, but the whole thing looks like it was cookie cuttered down this factory and then they expect everybody to goo goo gaga over it, and I just don't like that. So what I'm trying to find is there something to that feeling? Or is it something I'm just completely crafting subconsciously and there's really nothing there to prove it? I don't know. It's kind of what I'm after. Okay? Yeah. And and Jojo's right. There's not going to be a clean, clear answer, but I'm hoping more information and more statistics and more data is going to help me at least kind of resolve what's what instead of feeling like I'm just kind of sitting in the gray zone, you know? So I want to, this last disclaimer before I kind of set some parameters here for all of us. I want to make it really clear, regardless of like what I'm asking or how we're doing it or the things that I say, I'm not here to change what group you love, which groups you support. I'm not trying to tell you which music to like. It has nothing to do with that. Because if you haven't learned anything over the 3.5, 4 years we've been doing this, like I can't stand when somebody tries to tell people how to be a fan. Oh, that shit drives me. I go batty. I don't like that. With the exception of the people that show up at celebrities and idols' houses. That shit's a no-go. That don't fly. You're not being a fan. You're being a stalker. You went too far. Go home. Go sit in the car. Roll up the windows. Yeah, like what you like. Love who you love. And you know what? Maybe the answer is just as easy sometimes as, I like this song. That's all. It doesn't have to be deep. It doesn't have to be magical and mystical and change lives. Like who you like. I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'm not trying to change anybody's mind. This is something that I could totally do by myself, but when do we do that? I feel like this can help other people too. Maybe. Maybe you can help me craft some questions. I don't know. So, parameters. I'll tell you how this is going to work today. Let's go big screen. Just in case you couldn't figure it out yet, we are looking at ChatGPT, one of the robots in question. Now, ChatGPT and other AI models of information and research and all this good stuff will be the first to tell you that they are not perfect, they are not flawless, they make mistakes. So for very important things, make sure you double check. If you're asking about like medication and health stuff, take it with a grain of salt. It's like looking stuff up on WebMD. You never quite know what you're going to get. So, yeah. So we take it with a grain of salt. Now, Jake says it's the worst one right now. I don't know what. I have no idea. This is the only one that I know how to use, so we're going to start here. Yep. And remember, whatever we get from this, if you want to go afterwards or even during and do your own bits of research, I highly encourage that. Don't take everything that we find here and we say here as the gospel. It's on lockdown, and that's what it is. It's just information gathering, really. Yep. Absolutely. And coffee milk. Kind of nervous, not gonna lie. So I'll tell you where I started. I started with this question. Okay, and this is just gonna have to, and I'm leaving this screen up right here because I want you to see what's found. No BS. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not changing numbers. You're gonna see what I type. You're gonna see what comes back as a result, and we'll go from there. So the first thing we have to do, and I am not an AI expert. I'm just a regular dude that uses the robots like other people do. So if there's probably a very specific expert way to do this, I don't know what that is. So we're going to watch Captain Dum Dum talk to the robots and hope for the best. Okay? First things first. I'm just going to set the parameters. I have questions regarding K-pop music and artists. When I ask a question, I would like accurate and I don't even know if this is necessary. Truthful answers. Provide sources. Do not speculate or fill gaps. I'll say acknowledge. Please acknowledge unknowns where applicable. And tell me if you agree with this. I feel like Wikipedia is probably, I don't know if it's a trustworthy source. Is it like a grain of salt source? Is it something we could probably use as like a tertiary source? Change it to 4 in settings. What does that mean? 5 has been oh, I see what you're saying. ChatGPT 4? Oh, there's Afnan. So 4 is the way to go. This right here. Legacy models, Chat GPT 4. Right there? Okay, so we're in 4. Are we good then? I'm gonna go back to 5. Let's just shoot straight. All right, give me an educated guess on BTS's contributions to lyrics, composition, or production from their first album to their current album, where at least one member is credited in those things. Let's try that. Oh, so much easier. Educated guess, reasoned estimate, vocal line, rap line, KOMCA, epochs, member involvement. Now, you see there's a whole bunch of stuff kind of off to the side here. So this is all the information it has, right? Oops, sorry. RM in particular is extremely prolific. As of June 2025, he has 231 songs credited under his name in KOMCA. J-Hope also has broad credits, 148 songs attributed to him as writer-composer. Oh. Okay. So here we go. Have some, if one member has a credit on a song, it counts for, let's just say, full credit. That simplifies it. Co-wrote nearly all rap sections in several songs. 30 to 50 tracks. Okay, let's go back to ignore skits and remixes and intros. That seems to be a thing that keeps sticking on. No skits, intros, interludes, or remixes. 55 to 60% in early era. Too Cool for School, Are You Late Too, School Love Affair, Dark and Wild. Approximate songs considered 32, member involved 17 to 18. Rap line wrote almost every rap section. Many tracks, primarily P Dog and external producers. Breakout era, we've got Most Beautiful Moment in Life, Young Forever, 75 to 80%, 87 to 90% later. Global peak, 90 to 95%. This is the English stage. And then we've got solo stuff. If included, solo releases push totals even higher, obviously. We'll stop at proof. So what it's giving us overall across from early breakout, artistic, global peak, English era, overall from 2013 to 2022, 14 projects, 82 to 85%, 119 to 145 full songs. When you strip out skits, intros, and remixes, roughly 4 out of every 5 BTS songs, 82 to 85%, credit at least one member. It says Dark and Wild is 55%. Let's try that. Let me see the credits for Dark and Wild. Let's clear from the soices. Okay, wow, a lot of very specific breakdown. Okay, let's do this. Give me the breakdown. Give me a list of each song on Dark and Wild as well as the number of members that contributed at least lyrics, production, arrangement, composition. Let's try that. You can see why I didn't do well in school. Let's see what choices we get. Oh, it's thinking hard. Okay, using the official KOMCA adapted credits. There's our songs, excluding intros and skits. This is how many members have credits. Okay, so already this is kind of like, wait a second, right? Because this is the track list, excluding skits and credits. Danger, War of Hormone, and so on. Credited members from BTS in creative roles with the parameters that we set, and here's the count of how many members were credited. RM, Suga, and J-Hope on most of these, actually all of these, in Dark and Wild. To me, outside of the intro that they already removed, that's 100%. Oh, sorry, intro, interlude, and outro. If you want, I can roll this into a quick album card that shows member involved percentage for Dark and Wild. It's 11 of 11, 100% under your rule, and then do the same for the next albums. Yes, this is all I've ever wanted. I don't know why it took you so long to get here. Yes, this is accurate. Please do the same for the first album. Let's start there. Don't ignore the intros and outros. Okay, we'll go back to that. Songs on, okay, let's do this. Let's include intros and outros. Too Cool for School. Tracks 1 through 8. It's including the intro and outro, excluding skits and interludes. We have the skits don't count, interlude doesn't count, and we've got 3 credits on intro, 4 credits on Bulletproof, 7 credits on outro, Psycho Room Cypher. Nice. 4 on Path is a hidden track because Cookie's thrown in with the rap line. And this would be 6 of 6, 100%. Okay. So under your rule, this is what it's saying. Under your rule, if even one member contributes creatively, the track counts 100%. So Too Cool for School, 6 of 6 songs, 100% member involved. Do you want to continue with Oh, Are You Late Too? Yes. So once we set these parameters, which I think we're closing in on, then we can kind of take that system and then move on to other groups and see kind of how it fits. So how do we repeat that? Just like that. We'll have the formula down. It'll say, okay, how you're thinking right now, I want you to remember that, and I want you to apply it to this group. So here's the full creative credit breakdown for BTS's second mini album, Oh Are You Late Too, in September of 2013. It includes all intros and outros, but skips, skits, and instrumentals, just like before. So the skit is out. We've got member credits across the board. It's the rap line. Hobie is not in Paul Dogangsan, and that gives us 8 of 8, 100%. Primary producers, P-Dog and Supreme Boy. Okay, we know that. Paul Dogangsan is entirely rap line written, often cited as the first track where RM and Suga handle almost everything themselves. So 100%. School Love Affair. Yes, let's go on a School Love Affair. And we're going to repeat this process just because we might discover tweaks that we have to make. So when we break out to other groups, we're not missing stuff, right? School Love Affair 2014. The skit is out. Everything else has rap line consideration. And this is essentially what I was finding, because as we get through the albums, there comes a point where the vocal line starts to kind of blossom a bit, and we start to see a lot more credits across the group as a whole. So outside of the skit, which, why wouldn't you? I mean, I guess it's a skit. You can't really give them credit per se, but okay. RM, Suga, and J-Hope credited on every track. Vocal line participation still limited to performance and melody input. Formal credits would start appearing on later releases like Let Me Know and Hold Me Tight. Okay. So School Love Affair, 9 of 9 songs, 100%. Now, would you like me to continue with Dark and Wild? We fixed that problem, right? We got what we were looking for there. And then go straight into, let's go into, yeah. Here's where things start to evolve in a major way. The Most Beautiful Moment in Life, 2015 to 2016, marks the true beginning of the transition into a fully self-authored group, with the vocal line, especially Cookie, V, and Jimin, joining the writing and composition roster alongside the rap line. Part 1 and Part 2. The skit has nobody. Suga wrote the intro of The Most Beautiful Moment in Life. Junie has Converse High solo. And then we have 8 of 8, 100%. Notable first, just extra information for you. Cookie's first official composition credit was Love Is Not Over. V's first writing credit was Hold Me Tight. And then here's the breakdown. Intro Nevermind was Suga by himself. We've got Cookie, V, and Jimin on outro House of Cards. We've got Cookie joining the rap line for Run. 100%. In 2016, we've got Young Forever, and that shows rap line with full credit there. Okay. Next up is Wings. Jojo, we already did your album, buddy. Sit down. 2016. Intro. Hobie has Boy Meets Evil. We got Cookie and Junie on Begin, which was Cookie solo. And then for Stigma, First Love. This is where we start to see the solos showing up in the group album, so that makes sense. Still give credit. And we're looking at 100% 15 of 15. So this is my interpretation of this, dealing with the Matrix robots. This is confirming every time we say, okay, yes, this is what I'm looking for. Yes, do it for the next album. Do it for the next album. It's giving us a chance to find tweaks we might need to make if there's like glitches in the system, but it's also confirming and kind of reiterating to the robots, this is what I need you to do. Now do it again. Now do it again. Tweak as we go. You Never Walk Alone. Yes. Which is a Wings repackage that adds 4 new songs. Okay? This one's short but important. It's a repackage of Wings containing all the previous songs but 4 new tracks. A Spring Day, Not Today, You Never Walk Alone, and a reprise of Outro Wings. We've got Hobie on solo credit for Outro Wings, the reprise, and we've got Rap Line and everything else. 100%, 404. Yep. Okay, solidifying the rap line as group's core creative engine. Got it. Next up, we've got Love Yourself, Her. Let's fast forward to the present. Summarize these same results across all future albums. Group albums. See, now we have to see if this will work when we get out to the other groups too. Okay, it's reconfirming the parameters. We'll see if it goes sideways because I just did that. Let me just back it up. You're probably not going to be able to read it, but hang tight. All right. So now it's going from Post Wings, Full Authorship from Her through B, Map of the Soul 7. Okay, let me read this to you. From Her 2017 through B 2020, every single group song had at least one BTS member credited, usually RM, Suga, and J-Hope jointly, often joined by the vocal line writer for solos and subunits. Check. Collective creative ownership. By Map of the Soul 7, all 7 members had individual or shared writing credits. The group achieved total authorship parity. English singles exception. Dynamite, Butter, Permission to Dance brought in Western writers. Only Butter includes RM. These tracks lowered the all-time ratio, but were strategic international projects, not reflective of regression. Anthology and Beyond Proof. 2022 reaffirmed self-production roots, Run BTS, and For Youth are textbook examples of BTS returning to their internal writing loop before the solo album phase began. So 2013 to 2016, 100%, we've got about 44 songs and 44 members involved in each of those songs in some way. 2017 to 2022, 55 songs, 53 of them included member involvement, 96%. Full group discography across the way, excluding Japanese releases, excluding remixes, skits. I think that's it. 97 songs, 98% member involved. And again, this is not including mixtapes and that kind of stuff. This is full group work. The exceptions are the English songs, which we know about. Sure. It wants to make a picture. I'll let it do a picture. We are excluding solos, but not group solos. Like Euphoria is a Cookie solo, but it's wrapped into a BTS album, so that's fine. What I don't want to do is include mono. That is a mixtape. That's Junie's solo work. I don't want to include Indigo or Golden, really just group stuff. Okay? All right. So let's see. 2013, this is 2013 to 2022. Huh? That picture didn't make any sense. It says, okay, so 100% across the board until we get to Map of the Soul 7. Map of the Soul Persona 7, and then B, 98%. What? What sense does that make? Listen to this. In Map of the Soul Persona 7B, it's at 98% because it says only On featuring Sia. That variant lacks member credit. Otherwise, total creative control. So let me get this straight. What? That's weird. That's just weird. RM co-writes Butter. There's nothing, no credits on Dynamite, Permission to Dance, and Proof returns to full authorship. So what I see, I have little BTS knowledge. I'm just saying I see about 50%. It's great for me for a group being involved in their music. I get wanting more accuracy, but when other groups come up, what do we consider their music is what I'm trying. So Wood makes a good point. And Wood, I don't know if you came in at the beginning or not, but the reason this has been kind of wonky is because, especially with BTS, a lot of us kind of already know the answers. And for some reason, this thing's parameters are kind of wonky. We're trying to get it to go by the same things that we already know, right? So it's kind of confirmation bias in a way. I know that's kind of messy, but we already know kind of what this picture looks like. So we're trying to find the parameters that make the way we want to look at things match the way that things are that we already know. It's like a proof of concept in a way, right? And honestly, if we already knew that BTS had, I'll just say a 60% input to their music, that's what we would be shooting for, right? Not just 100%. We just We want what we know is kind of true. So we got to figure out the way to get from A to B, where what we are looking for, the truth, right? The truth is what it's finding, and we need those things to line up. We don't claim that song anyway. Yeah. Dynamite is on B too. Okay, so that makes sense. But to say that On featuring Sia, it lacks member credit, that's nuts. And Lily says this is where confirmation bias comes in, so you have to be careful. 100%, totally agree. And also, like, that being said, I'm gonna count on you all as we start going through this, because like right now, this is very safe territory for us. We already kind of know the answers. We're just trying to make the parameters line up, right? Because if we can get it to find what we know it's kind of on the right track. And if those parameters are good, those parameters should also be just as accurate as the other times that we put the other groups through it. You know what I mean? Anyway, yeah. But honestly, what I can definitely understand, like, this would seem messy. Totally. So if some of you are here and you're not, and whether you're a BTS fan or not, if you're ARMY or not, doesn't matter. But as we go through, if we start digging in and you feel like we're missing something, please speak up. I'm not trying to just confirm what I believe. I want the truth. I want accurate information as best we can get it. That's what I'm looking for. Yes, please speak up. Like, when I first started doing this, I actually didn't know that Dynamite and Permission to Dance and Butter, I mean, Junie's got a credit on Butter, but I'm just going to say Butter. Those 3 songs were literally crafted by a group of people that know how to make hits. That's crazy. It's not messy. I'm thinking, what are we considering group music involvement? Like, what percentage will you be happy with for other groups? I don't know. I think it depends. You know what I mean? Like, it's a great question. I'm not sure. Well, let me ask you this, and Wood, this is to you, but it's also to everybody down here. Currently, we're going by the parameter of lyrics, arrangement, composition, and production. The creation of a song, not the performance of a song, but the creation. Does anybody feel like we're missing something that should count towards creative control of their art? There's also scenarios where we've seen member involvement in a video, but he's not credited officially. Yeah, but that's video. That's kind of a different direction, though. Choreography, no, that's more performative. The video's performative. This is just my opinion. I mean, you can outnumber me. No, I don't think music videos count. I feel like that's we could do a whole other live stream on that. Producing, we've got production. Yep. We know Suga shows up in a lot of production, especially in the intros. What about doing each part separately, first the writing and so on? Well, that could be a while. I think that between those 4 parameters of lyrics, composition, arrangement, and production, that's I feel like that's a really good package for us to move forward with. That'll be kind of a catch-all for the groups. Yeah, the foundation song, that's a good one. Not the video. We saw a video clip of Cookie helping with the danger hook, but he's not credited. Melody. Huh. I'm going to ask, is Melody included in our current parameters? Does it count for arrangement or composition? It's a good question. Okay, it doesn't count for lyrics. It counts towards composition, sometimes for arrangement, and not really for production. So as long as we have composition, we're kind of covered with melody. That's good. And I'm pretty sure Disease. Oh, where was Disease? That was that no, it wasn't B, was it? Where was Disease? It was in B. Okay. So B has wait, no, B had what, 98% and that was Dynamite, is that right? I'm pretty sure that Disease will have the credit already. Regardless of whether or not they specify who did what, it'll have member credit, and that's good for what we're looking for. Yeah. I always know life's going to be okay when I get a from JoJo. Okay. So let's say blue and wait, I just saw Disease. They're giving us examples. So Hobie co-wrote the melody and flow, composition counts, Disease, Awake, Jin. The Jin wrote the melodic skeleton, co-arranged with producer. Interesting. So it's just giving us samples of how it got there. Okay. Please lay out our current parameters for research in a concise way that we could accurately replicate this process for other artists. What do you think? Let's see what it says. They're messy be a question if it's the music or the music video you're not liking, huh? There may be a question if it's the music. True. Okay, here's a concise, replicable research framework you can use for any artist. All right, let's take a look at this. Creative Contribution Research Framework. 1. Scope definition. Include only full songs on official albums, EPs, and singles. Okay. Exclude skits, remixes, alternate versions, and instrumentals, unless they have new lyrics or melodies. I think that's pretty good. Include intros, outros, interludes, if they contain original vocals or composition. Ask it to give you in the form of a prompt. I like that. Let's do that after we read it, because we might have to tweak it and then we'll get the prompt as a final. Counting rule. If any member of the artist or group has a credit in any of the following rules, the entire song counts as member involved 100%. Yes. Lyrics, yes. Composition, yes. Arrangement, yes. Production, yes. Performance only, no. We want these 4 items. Data sources. Use verifiable credit listings only. KOMCA, which is the Korea Music Copyright Association, all of these letters, equivalents for Western artists, official album liner notes, CD booklets, and label websites, Wikipedia as a cross-verification for song-level credits. Cross-verified, I'm okay with that. Primary source of information, absolutely not. Fandom or discography databases only if they cite primary sources. That's pretty good. Rule of thumb, if a credit appears on an official copyright registry or a liner note, it counts. If it's fan attributed or unverified, it doesn't. I am satisfied currently. Quantitative approach. For each album, list all qualifying tracks, mark which members are credited in any qualifying role, count total songs, member-involved songs, and the percentage of member involvement across the total. Consistency rules. If multiple members are credited, count once per song, not per member. Melody composition counts fully. No speculative guessing, only confirmed credits. I feel like this is pretty good. All right, now, please provide this as a prompt so we may study other groups in the exact same manner. How does that sound? Jake, how's that sound? Yeah, Lily, we removed the Japanese albums just because of like translation stuff. It gets really weird when you get into the language stuff. Ask for it in the form of a prompt. Please provide this in a prompt. Okay, good. Let's see what we get. So it's going to tell us what we should ask it. I want to analyze the creative contributions of artist or group name. We'll fill that in across all their albums and major releases. Please apply the following standardized parameters. Do not deviate or assume unverified data. And then we have all of these things that we're going to put into the prompt. Do you want to make this copy and paste ready? Yes. All right. So we're going to take all of this. Example command. Okay. We'll take that too. It even gives Stray Kids as a next option. So we're going to put that in. Let's try Stray Kids next. Let's see what it gives us. Stray Kids. Go all the way down. All the stuff that it told us. Good. There's that. Using this framework above, analyze Stray Kids from debut to present, song by song, and then all the stuff we said. Okay? Shall we? See what we get. All right, let's apply the framework to Stray Kids. I'll give you album by album percentages, song by song tables for representative albums across eras. Source, I will note source citations for verification. If a song lists any member in lyrics, composition, arrangement, or production, it is member involved. So it's going through. These are album level summaries from debut to present. So here's the short take. Across the discography, every qualifying group track has at least one member credit, most often 3 racha. So your metric is effectively about 100% per release. One known exception, 3 racha credit, is Wow, a unit track without 3 racha, but it still has member credits. Lee No, Hyunjin, Felix, so it does count. Now it goes through the song by song tables. We've got Baek Chan, Binny, and Han. There's our 3 racha. No Easy in 2021. 5-star, Rockstar, 8 and 24. Final quantitative roll-up for the group era. Given the per album verification above, every qualifying song on Stray Kids' main Korean releases from 2018 to 2024 includes at least one member credit, typically 3 racha, sometimes other members on unit tracks. Therefore, from 2018 to 2024, about 100% member involved across studio albums and EPs under your rules. Let's find out what would deter the full 100%. Yeah, I want to know why it's like about 100%. Good question. Here's exactly what could deter or reduce a full 100%. Okay, I know those are the parameters. Yeah, I got all that. No. Would you like me to show an example of how Stray Kids' score might hypothetically dip below 100% if a single externally written collab appeared for... Yes. No, not imagine. It's giving me a hypothetical. Hypothetical 2025 repackage. Okay, it sounds like they have 100%, but they're afraid to say exactly 100%. Is anybody else getting that? Yeah? Okay. Okay. It didn't seem to have any hiccups. This hypothetical kind of threw it off a little bit. It's a little under because of solo songs. I mean, it shouldn't be. It's saying 100%. We already know it's not going to count like solo albums and stuff, but it can count solo songs within the group framework. Yes. All right. So let's do this. Let's take, well, let me ask, before we move on to another group, we spent most of our time kind of building the framework with BTS because we already kind of knew where to go. We just got to figure out how to tame the horse robot to get to where we're going. We applied that to Stray Kids. It seems to hold true as to the best of our knowledge, right? Are we missing anything with Stray Kids before we drive forward? That's a good question. Jeff says, ask, why did you say about 100%, but not exactly 100%? Excellent catch, and that's exactly the kind of precision your framework is built to expose. Let's unpack why I used approximately 100% instead of a hard, exact 100%. Even though on paper, Stray Kids are known to self-produce everything. Minor data ambiguities, across sources. Even if every album lists 3 Racha on every track, a few edge cases have incomplete or unverified metadata across public databases. Melon and KOMCA mismatches. Some Korean streaming sites, Melon and Genie, omit subcredits that are present on physical album liners. See, for me, if it's on a physical album liner, like that should be pretty damn good proof, right? Huh. Oh, and it's saying the other way around. Example, Road Not Taken once showed only P Dog equivalent producer data. Later, 3 Racha appeared on KOMCA. That's interesting. I don't know what that means, but that's pretty damn interesting. Ah. Fandom or wiki inconsistencies. Wikipedia or fandom pages may reflect temporary listings. If one page lacks a member credit and no primary source is visible, you must mark it as unverified, which under the rules that we have set here does not count. Thus, while the intentional authorship is 100%, the verifiable percentage is almost always slightly below until every track is cross-confirmed in official registries. I'm pretty happy with that answer. We've got alternate versions and language releases. We talked about that. Special and external collaborations, verification threshold. Bottom line, Stray Kids' creative authorship is effectively 100%, but officially verifiable data across all markets, Korean, Japanese, and English releases, yields a conservative estimate of about 98 to 100%. Using about 100% keeps the claim academically honest under your strict evidentiary standard. It signals no known exceptions, but awaiting full multi-source confirmation. I'm pretty happy with that. What do you guys think? I feel like possibly in contract negotiations, the idols might fight for more transparent credits, maybe. Yeah, I think they should. Absolutely. Okay. Got it. So let's take the same framework, and I'm kind of going in my head to like my usual go-tos, because I'm still not ready to step out of the safe zone yet. Okay? And when I say safe zone, I don't mean like I'm worried about pissing everybody off. That's going to happen anyway. But I want, like, to me, the unknown is going to be where I don't really have the information, right? Trust me, we're going to go boy groups, we're going to go on girl groups, we're going deep with this. We just got to make sure before we leave the green zone, we've got things, we're geared up and ready. So we're going to take all of this and let's go to ATs, shall we? And then I think after this, we'll do one of my favorite girl groups. And then we'll start breaking out. So we're going for ATs next. Thinking longer for a better answer. I wish I had that ready when I was in school, where they're like, Roscoe, do you know what this is? And I'm like, I'm thinking longer for a better answer. I'm thinking longer for a better answer. And just keep doing that until they leave me alone. Now, please remember, while it's thinking about these answers and we start breaking out into other groups and, industries, West and East, whatever, remember, regardless of what the results are, we're not implying that you don't love these groups, that these groups aren't talented, that they're not amazing, that their music can't change our lives. It's not what we're saying. I'm just trying to find out, essentially, what's been causing this brain nonsense that I got going on. Yeah. Okay, I think we got it. Good Lord. Wow. Oh, my God. All right, so it finally came up using the exact framework. I'm giving you per album percentages across the core Korean albums, 2018 to 24, song by song tables, yada, yada, yada. Here's all the information. Now, here's some examples. All to zero. Oh, sorry. Percentage summary by album. Member involved, total percent sources. Treasure EP1. All to zero 2018. 5 of 6, 83.3%. Writers listed per track include Hongjung, Mingi on Pirate King, Treasure, Twilight Stay, My Way. Intro has no member credit. 0 to 1 is 5 of 5. Treasure episode 3, 1 to All is 5 of 6. The interlude has no member credit. Wait, I thought we weren't including interludes. And see, with this one, it's specifying intros and outros usually have no credits. Ooh, what to do here? We did include interludes? Okay. You sure? Sometimes it needs a reminder. Oh, if they have vocals. That's right, because it was instrumental. Thank you. Golden Hour Part 1, 5 of 6, 83.3. Intro, Golden Hour has no member credit. The other 5 do. Huh. I feel like this is a little tricky. We got to figure this out. If it's, damn, this is tricky. I mean, these are the parameters that we use for BTS and Stray Kids. If it's applying the same one, it should be the same, you know what I mean? Like it's the same game, right? It's not updated enough to that. So what we have to, please include, what is it? Golden Hour Part Oh, Golden Hour 3 and is In Your Fantasy, is that an album? Oh, I'm good with 86%. I think it's fantastic. It was a separate album variant. Wait, did it not have part 2? It didn't. All right, so please include Golden Hour 2 and 3 and In Your Fantasy. Now, this is something we haven't seen yet together. This is where it makes me say stuff unnecessarily. Disregard. Okay, it's going to go through the information for that. Golden Hour Part 2, there's Part 3, there's the In Your Fantasy edition. Okay, now it's giving us a chance to provide feedback. It's going to give us 2 different responses. The style of which they give you the information is where you can choose, I like this style over this style. Let's see. And total qualifying songs for Golden Hour Part 2 is 6. Known member involved songs, about 5. Intro, scene 1, value, likely uncredited. Includes solos and versions. Most appear to show member credits. Okay. Hongjung and Mingi seem to have a good chunk of the writing credits. What is... Hello, Insimidius. What is the overall percentage? We kind of threw a little curveball there with the golden hours and all that. So let's just kind of bring it back to home. And yeah, I mean, me personally, I think 86% is pretty damn good. I'm pretty happy with that. You know, it's like, to me, if a group comes out with 4 songs and they wrote 3 of them, but then they had producers for the last one, like, okay, that's still 3 out of 4. I mean, that's not the exact percentage, but you get it. All right, let's see. Updated totals from 2018 to 2025. Albums counted. They've got different series between Treasure Fever, The World, and then Golden Hour. All the qualifying songs. That's golden. And then combined total. It looks like overall, all verified Korean albums and Golden Hour era, 114 total qualifying songs, 97 are member involved, gives us an 85.1% member involvement. Let's see. Verifiable authorship stands at about 85%, mainly limited by uncredited intros or interludes that bookend most albums. That makes sense. And 1 or 2 English language or OST releases lacking listed member writers. On main title and B-side songs, however, member involvement remains near 100%. Hongjung and Mingi appear on virtually every lyrical line credit from debut onward. Wow. Final figure under your standardized method. AT's overall creative contribution is about 85% of all official songs from 2018 to 2025. Nearly 100% of full vocal tracks, excluding intros and outros. Okay. How do you feel about that? I think that's a great total. I totally agree. I think that's great. Okay. Solid. All right. Now, somebody had said Idol. You want to do Idol next? I love Idol. I really do. They have impressed me from the very first time they popped on the screen. Oh, I love them. All right. Here we go. Let's run and they even reference G Idol analysis with your exact framework. I'll keep it tight but fully sourced and reproducible. Reading note, I'm counting only original vocal tracks. I excluded the English alt version on I Trust per your rules. Nice. Good job, buddy. Song by song, album level findings, concise. It goes through I Am in 2018, 6 qualifying songs. Member involved, 5 of 6, 83.3%. Track 6, Hear Me, has no member writing production credit. The other tracks include Soyeon credits and lyrics, composition, and arrangement. So Hear Me does not have member writing credits. In 2019, we have I Made, 5 qualifying songs, 100% member involvement. Soyeon wrote lyrics for all 5, composed 4, Minnie composed and produced the closer. I Trust is 100%. I Burn, 100%. I Never Die, 2020 in the studio, 100%. I Love, 100%. All the way down. We get to 2023. Heat, English EP, just what you talked about. 5 qualifying songs, member involvement, 0%. Writers, producers are external. 88 Rising, the U.S. team, no members credited for lyrics, composition, arrangement, or production. Again, to me, that makes perfect sense. I can't hold that against them, you know? And then we've got I Sway in 2024, 2 in 2024, 100% on both of those. So, percentage summary by release. We have their first album, debut, I Am, 2018, 83.3%. There was only one song that did not have member involvement. 100% down the board until we get to the English album, 0%. And I'm going to ask it about the translation too. That's a good idea. We've got 100% for the last 2 in 2024. It talks about the sources. What's not shown? You asked for song-by-song tables with credited members, roles, count, sources. I validated every album above against official liner references. If you want, I can deliver the complete per-song tables. That's not necessary. But if we include translation or adaptation for the English album, would that include member involvement? Good call. But for Heat, the album's official credits list only the external 88 Rising US for both lyrics and composition. If you ever saw a new release note, KOMCA entry or booklet credit such as English lyrics adaptation by Soyeon, then every song, okay, I know that. Did Soyeon translate or provide adaptation for the English album? It's more specific. We'll just get right to the point. I didn't find any credible evidence that Soyeon officially translated or provided an English adaptation credit on the Heat album in the verified sources. Additionally, the Crimson's review mentions Heat as one of the few idol works without Soyeon's creative genius working behind the scenes. Okay. Now, not to say that it's not, that she didn't. It just can't find proof of it. That's all. That's just a little sidebar. Still, I think it's worth digging into. Okay, so what did we end up with? I don't even know what the final was, but to me, okay, let's do this real quick. Let's ignore the English album and provide a final percentage. See what we get. We've got the 83.3% on the first one, 100% across the board. That gives us a final total of 98.1% member involvement across the 53 songs. And that's one song that did not include member credit on their first album, which, let's be real, one song on their first album, that's legit. That is legit. Hell yeah. Oh, I love this game. Damn, this is fun. And honestly, like if you're gonna reduce creative control on a group's in a group's discography, of course it's gonna be the first one, right? If they're new into the game, it just makes sense. All right, let's go. I would like to do Mama Moo if you don't mind. Let's stick with the girl group theme for the moment. And we'll kind of hop around a little bit. Mama Moo. Where my moo moos at? Yeah. You might hear the occasional noise behind me as I'm still having work done at the house. You'll hear some banging and some saws. It's not me from the beans on toast yesterday. There we go. Here's a clean source verified pass for Mamamoo applying your framework. I fully worked up 3 cornerstone releases, 1 studio album, a key era EP, and the later studio album with song by song tables and hard percentages. I also add a partial verified only read on Travel 2020 where per track credits are scattered across single pages. All right, let's see here. 2016 Melting. Studio album. We've got the roles, the credited members. No credits on Words Don't Come Easy. Moonbuell has a lot of credits. Tad would be thrilled. Funky Boy, Just, and Girl Crush, no credits. Scope note, track 13 is an instrumental of You're the Best and is excluded. Good. 12 qualifying songs, 8 member involvement, 66.7%. It used Wikipedia as its source for everything, okay? Let's see here. I'm going to ask it. Oh, wait, it's still going. Damn, it's still going. Okay. We'll let it finish, and then I'm going to ask it about the Wikipedia. Because per the rules, it should be using Wikipedia as like a cross-reference point, not the primary. Lexi, your name is still Beef? What are you doing? Oh, that's where it got it. I wonder what the source is. Wow. References. That's a lot of words. Did it finish? Okay, here we go. Let's see. We started at Melting. We had a couple that don't have any member involvement. It did specify that track 13 is instrumental. Our rules exclude that. We had 66.7 on the first album. Pretty good. First album, pretty good. Remind me to ask it about Wikipedia. Yellow Flower is 2018 EP. We have credits on everything except for Paint Me. Really? I want to know why that is. I thought that was their song. Huh. 85.7% on the second album. Lot of Moonbyul credits. I had no idea that she was such a creative powerhouse. Huh. Really? This is fascinating. Wow. Lyrics and composition from Wasa on Hip. Makes sense. She has hips. 11 qualifying songs, 8 member involvement, 72.7%. There's a partial verified only snapshot of Travel where we have Moonbuell on lyrics and then Wasa on composition for Dinga. Verified floor so far. At least 3 member involved of 6 EP tracks is about equal to 50%. The final figure would require liner or database credits for Chuck, Diamond, and Goodnight. Notes on sources and consistency. All tables rely on official track listing credit tables on Wikipedia album pages where they enumerate lyrics music, arrangement by track, plus individual song pages and label single credits when album tables are absent. Wikipedia entries cited above include references to label materials and industry press. They are acceptable per your rules when backed by those citations. I feel pretty good about that answer. How do you feel about that? Where album pages do not publish per track credits, like Travel, I counted only songs with standalone pages or liner-sourced credit notes, hence the give or take percentage. If you want, I can continue in the same format through every EP and album: Pink Funky, Memory, Red Moon, White Wind, filtering only the qualifying original vocal tracks, and then deliver an overall career percentage with a small era-by-era chart. So we ended up with, let's see. Let me get an overall, because it does it per album, which I wanted. What's the overall percentage across the discography? I want to ask about Paint Me, too. From the partial sampling and analysis I did earlier, 73.3%. If those albums are representative across their career, one might cautiously estimate their overall creative involvement to lie in the 60 to 85% range, but that's speculative without the full track credit verification. Do you want me to collect more complete liner note data? Yes. Yes. Let's see what it finds. Verified floor across the discography based on what's fully sourced today, 69 to 73%. It's a floor because several albums, EPs, lack complete public track credit tables. Historically, many of those songs do include member lyric or composition credits, so the true overall is likely higher, but I won't claim a number without official track lines. Good job, buddy. I'm going to tell it. I'm going to tell it that. Good job, buddy. That's fantastic. I'm not going to go crazy. I'm just telling you what I found. Yep. Ask if it's including the subunit. Okay, that's a good question. Thanks, Roscoe. Right back at you. I know. Did you include any Mama Moo Plus information? If so, I do not want that included. Please. Let's see if it did. Excellent catch. And no, I did not include any Mamamoo Plus material in the data set. All right, good deal. I like it. It does mention the subunits, Solar and Moonbyul. It does not count solo works, individual albums, collaborations, or OSTs. All right. I'm pretty happy so far. I don't know about you. I'm pretty happy. All right. Time for a poll. All right, so those are your choices. TXT, P1 Harmony, Blackpink, The Rose, and NMIX. All right, next up with 34%, we've got Blackpink. Blackpink. All right, let's get the code down. There's our thingy. Blackpink. Blackpink. All right, here we go. Ta-da! Is that everything? Okay, I think it's done. All right, so got it. I'll apply the framework, all the same stuff we know. It starts off in 2016, a single album called Square One. No member credits. Square Two. No member credits. Wow. Seriously? This can't be right. Okay, Lovesick Girls in 2020, the album, Jenny and Jisoo, with lyrics and composition for Lovesick Girls. That's 12.5% across five albums. Jenny and Rose and the Girls 2023. Yeah, Yeah, Yeah. Jisoo and Rose for lyrics in Born Pink. Wow. Wow. Quantitative summary. Per release, albums and EPs only. 0% until the album 2020. One song of 8, 12.5%. Born Pink 2022. One of 8, 12.5%. That gives us 29 qualifying songs. 2 of them were member involved. 6.9%. If you include the major non-album single, The Girls 2023, it's 30 qualifying songs, 3 member involved, 10%. Short overview evolution. Okay, it's just kind of giving us a breakdown on what we just read. Album track credits come from the liner adapted personnel and track listing tables on the official album pages, which cite liner notes and title. No member credits appear there. 10%. Biggest girl group, though, globally. I think that's true. I don't know. But here's something that's interesting. This kind of makes sense to me. Let me rephrase that. This surprised me, but here's what makes sense to me. I don't know how long ago it was where Lisa left, or Lisa went and created Loud labels, her own label. We've seen the girls do more solo stuff lately, right? I don't know if Blackpink is still together or they're just doing solo or they're doing both. Does anybody know? Because in my brain, over the last year, I've thought they just kind of went solo. And I was like, that makes perfect sense, right? In my head, when we saw this, I was like, well, why wouldn't you? They still together, just been touring. Well, even that in and of itself makes me kind of understand why Lisa would create Loud labels and then do stuff like creatively, her own stuff. Why Rose would go and do her own stuff. And I mean, granted, that's no different than like BTS. BTS did solo stuff, but they had amazing creative control throughout the years. Huh, interesting. That is crazy to me. 10% creative control across 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 albums. Oh, and then the non-album single, The Girls in 2023. Wow. You think XG will be the same? When they resigned in 2023, they signed unexclusive contracts, so they all made solo projects on the side. Got it. They're not officially disbanded, but they haven't had any group releases. But they're still touring, right? I think is what somebody said. That's how YG operates. They view creating music and performing as 2 separate things. And that's kind of another rabbit hole I wondered if we would go down, is once we kind of travel through some of the groups specifically, if we would be able to say, okay, let's take the top 5, and I don't want to go here right now. I just wondered if we would at some point. Let me take the top 5 most popular or highest charted groups in this label and this label and this label, and give me, you know what I mean? Like, see if it's label oriented or if it's like, is it gender label? Like, I don't know. Yeah, is it like a theme of the company? Right. They did Jump. Lexi, are you talking about Blackpink? Did Jump this year as a group release? Jump. Was that the one with all the people on the street smashing their faces into the pavement and the walls? Okay, got it. Thank you. Yep. And they still perform the things like Coachella. Okay. Huh. If we go by the company logic, would it be the case for their new group Baby Monster 2? Maybe we could do a comparison. Yeah, we'll do a poll for the next group too. Yeah, Liz, we're still on Blackpink, right? Huh. So here's the first question I kind of have. Not question. I'll throw it out there. It kind of makes me wonder, though, especially when the girls started to do their own solo stuff. I've been impressed, like wicked impressed, by everything I've seen solo come out of these four girls. Like, I can't even. Like, Jisoo with Earthquake, that friggin' video is so friggin' cool. And then Rose is killing it. What is it? We got Jenny. Oh, God, where do I even begin with Jenny? Friggin' Handlebars. What's the other one? Soul City. Jisoo did Earthquake, Rose, Lisa, New Woman. I mean, you know what I mean? Like it's been great, right? So yeah, they're gonna have more credits on their solo stuff. Totally get it. But I've been impressed by their solo stuff and that they're doing so well. It makes me wonder with this group stuff, is it kind of like maybe it's kind of a relief, you know, that they can have stuff kind of handed to them and they say, here you go. And then all they have to worry about is the performance aspect. I don't know. I'm grasping at straws here. I can't necessarily say it's a bad thing if they have 10% because look how long they were involved, you know? Maybe it's something that they kind of duck. I don't know. Do I require a what is that? Require a group to be self-produced to be great? No, absolutely not. No. No, I just want to know I want to know what part of this system looks like, you know? And again, because like me as a kid, I mean, maybe most of you as a kid, you kind of live under the naivete or the assumption that like when you see somebody on the television or you hear them on the radio singing a song, like me, also kind of being an idiot musician because I'm terrible, I picture them in a room writing these words, right? And that these words, this song kind of means something. And then they put it out to the world and they go, all right, I wrote this. It's kind of my feelings. I'm going to see how people respond. And then they kind of, death of the author, they put it out there. Growing up, that's kind of what I always believe. You get to the last couple of years, I start to kind of have this eye-opening moment to go like, oh, that's not really how it works all the time. Okay, well, we need to fill in these gaps in my brain, right? Doesn't mean they're not great. It's just I'm trying to figure out what is between A and Z that I was not aware of all these years. Do they write solo stuff or not? Are you still talking about Blackpink? They do, but outside of these numbers that you're seeing right here, right? Huh. So what I'm surprised by is, like you said, they're still touring, they're still together as Blackpink. Done a bunch of solo stuff. Lisa started Loud, I think it's Loud Label or Loud Records, maybe, with two L's. Did anybody else do something similar? Blackpink is a YG owned entity. The members don't get to decide anything, no matter how popular or experienced they are. So that's a YG thing. Oh, I see what you're saying. some companies allow more creative control than others, I think is what you're saying. Maybe that's exactly why they are viral globally, because the company has the resources to get best of the best on all aspects. Not saying other groups with creative members produce worse music, but professional writers may create better songs, quote unquote, from a broader angle that may suit or even create the trend. And Jeff brings up a good point, and that's kind of one of the things that I'm trying to resolve and I'm trying to understand. Because the one thing that massively shocked me was, again, understanding that all of a sudden one day when somebody decides, hey, we want to do an English track for BTS so that we hit the global market, we need it to be perfect, it's got to be a number one, and then somebody comes out with the formula and goes, here you go, I wrote your number one, and it worked, and then they did it again later, and then they did it again a third time. The fact that that's possible is, I know it wasn't just that, right? But it's like the fact that that's a thing. The fact that whatever team is behind Blackpink has this down pat, and these girls can take this, whatever they're given, and then make sure that it goes boom, and it hits and crushes and grand slams all this time. I mean, they're so big for a reason. Like something's working, you know? It's pretty wild. All right, so there's Blackpink. And some of you are starting to talk about like different generation groups, another rabbit hole. Blackpink is working on an album right now. So curious how involved they will be. That's actually a really good point, because if you look at this breakdown right here from 2016 to 2022, it's 0% until the last two albums, which now are 12.5%, one of eight. So if they drop an album in 2025 or maybe 2026, will it be higher? Will the fact that they've done so much solo work, if they're still under IG, I don't know. And that's based on what you're telling me. They should have credits for one song on Square 2. Square 2 is 2016. Let's see what it says. We've got Forever Young, Really, and See You Later. So, Trip, what do you think it's missing here? Let's see if we need to tweak something. Not tweak something, but let's see where it's missing the point. We should look for differences between Blackpink and other YG groups like Big Bang and 2NE1. 2NE1 is a girl group, right? Or no? It is. Okay. Square 2, not Square Up. Oh, sorry. Square 2, Playing with Fire and Stay. It's the 2016 one, but they should have lyric credits on Stay. All right. Let's see what Wikipedia says. On Square 2. Promotion, music videos, commercial performance, track listing, lyrics, music, and arrangement for Stay. We have Teddy and So Won Jin. And Teddy and So on arrangement, Stay. For Blackpink, let's see. Producers, Teddy and So Won Jin. Songwriter, Teddy. It's under YG. Credits include Blackpink on vocals, according to Melon. Trip, they've talked about it before somewhere. It's pronounced 21. Thank you, Jake. Huh. Interesting. Okay. I don't know. Teddy. Teddy. And you said that's for Stay on 2016. Okay. Yeah, I know nothing. Teddy writes nearly all of Blackpink's music. Teddy seems to have it down pat. And then, so actually, Trip makes a good point too, right? So let's say that the robot is wrong, Wikipedia's data is wrong. Let's just follow me here. And let's say that in 2016, Stay, according to something that the girls have said themselves, let's say they wrote it entirely, okay? And we change this to a 1. Let's say that's the actual honest truth. And that brings us up to, I don't know, let's just say it's 12.5% for the whole thing. I feel like we have to take some of this, right? So even if it's like, if it's 100% for this group and 50% for this group and 4% for 16, there's always going to be some level of kind of like flex, and we're kind of taking everything with a grain of salt for the most part. It should be near accurate. It's not going to be exact, right? Because we'll just never know. Only the people involved behind the doors are going to know. But if it gives us some idea, I mean, to me, this is pretty eye-opening. Whether it's 10%, 20%, I'm super surprised by this. Songwriters for K-pop Demon Hunters wrote hit after hit. They definitely have the golden touch. And then Chaotic had mentioned something about Swedish songwriters. Yeah, I mean, there's something there. Once you kind of understand the system, you understand the formula, you could just kind of keep replicating. That is amazing. Hmm. I would be curious to see. I'm actually not. Wood, you got to remind me, bro. When Blackpink's new album comes out, we need to check that out because I would love to see if they end up getting more creative control now versus their last bit of a journey. So Jake says, from what I understand, Teddy got input for the song from the group members, so they helped write it, but didn't get actual writing credits because he actually did the writing. There's a lot of gray areas. Sometimes Mamamoo had a few tracks like that too. They helped with the song, but not enough to get the credit. Okay. Huh. You know what I think part of it also is for me too, because I'm kind of having my own realizations and revelations while we do this. You might not be, but I think this is really interesting. But also, it's like if I know, and I know some of you will flat out disagree with this, totally get it. It's like if I hear a song, let's say, okay, let's use RM's Forever Rain as an example. Let's say I believe that Junie wrote Forever Rain sitting in a dark room, writing it down by hand in his journal, and then that was made. He sends that song out to the world. I take it as the consumer, and it becomes a part of my identity, right? I mean, that song just means the world to me. Got it. I live with that. And then all of a sudden, one day, in an interview, hypothetically, Junie goes, yeah, as a matter of fact, one day I was sitting there and I kind of just went on the computer and I typed into Chat GPT, hey, write me a song that will affect people emotionally, and it's about it never stopping raining. Write a song about Seattle. And it just prints out the lyrics to Forever Rain. And he says, hey, I like this. I'm going to record it. And he puts it out there. If I learned that, I would feel very different about that song, right? Because to me, part of the allure of it is that this is another person's experience and I relate to it, I connect to it, and it, in a way, it kind of validates my own experience, right? That's just me. It would change that for me. Not to say that Junie's not talented, he can't write his own stuff, he can't sing, he can't rap, he does all that stuff. I would feel different in the end about that product. Tasia says, I think it's the artist performing a song and making it their own that makes it good, not the who's and how's it was written. They can connect to it in the same way you are. Yeah. And then JoJo kind of makes the full wrap up point, which is it's down to the person when it comes down. Yeah, absolutely. It's you as the recipient receiving said art and then how you feel about it. Yeah, that's it. All right, so let's do a poll on who's next. So we got NCT, Big Bang, ITZY, NMIX, and XG. All right, looks like we got 40% with Big Bang. Now, Big Bang is Gen 1 or Gen 2? Second generation, okay. So let's put in our prompt. We're going with Big Bang. Is Big Bang one word or two? I feel like it's one word. Is it big? Two words. Wait, you're saying second generation still. I would like to do XG next. Big Bang. Okay. Big Bang. One word? Damn it. Okay, Big Bang. And Big Bang. I probably don't need to keep doing this. Yeah, let's just take that out. We don't need an example command. We're just going to paste the whole thing. All right, Big Bang. Here we go. All right, so we've got a final tally here. The overall percentage that it gives us is 91.8%, and here's how it got there. 61 total qualifying songs, 56 include member involvement, and we go all the way back to 2006, Big Bang Volume 1. 9 songs of 11 have credits showing G-Dragon and T.O.P. on most tracks. 2 songs like Next Day and Try Smiling have no member writing or production credit. That's 9 of 11, 81.8%. Always in 2007 gives us 83.3%. All but Wrong Number include member credits. Hot Issue is 100%. Stand Up in 2008 is 100%. Remember in 2008 is 75%. It excluded the three remixes or alternate versions of Haru Haru acoustic, Lies remix, and Last Farewell remix among the 8 remaining originals. 100% in Tonight 2011, 100% in Alive in 2012, and Made in 2016 was 100%. So across all Korean group releases per the scope above is 91.8%. Intros and outros, remix and alternate versions. And that's from 2006 to 2016, so 10 years. And I'm going to assume, based on this, that 2016 Made was the last album that Big Bang released, right? Oh, are they YG? Oh, it is. You're right. Interesting. Interesting. They released Still Life in 2022. Was that a single or an album? They released a single. Okay, and that was Still Life. Got it. Okay, thank you. Hmm. Interesting. It depends on the group. Big Bang had a different concept than Blackpink or Baby Monster. I'm sure there's going to be answers for all this. And again, I'm just a dumb walking around looking around. But it's like, why would the concept make a difference, right? And King Ant says, well, it's crazy because it was just Blackpink that YG did that to. YG boy groups have way more credits than girl groups, I think. Thank you for saying I think. Interesting. Because, of course, my first question is, based on what everybody was saying, it's just kind of how YG works. They don't really offer a lot of creative control. Big Bang seems to be different. But then the first question is, well, is that because of 2006 versus 2016? Is it boy group, girl group? Right? And I don't think we're going to get an answer for that if we just type something in. We're going to have to kind of keep digging and see what's what. Was Blackpink intended to be a global group? That's a good question. But did they have to fight for their control? Liz, do you mean Big Bang? Because Big Bang's first album in 2006 has them at 81.8% credit. Straight off the bat, that doesn't feel like they're fighting for control. It seems like they're right in there head first right away. And there might be reasons that we'll never know of why that is. You know, maybe G-Dragon, I have no idea, right? It is interesting though. YG and Big Bang members were very close personally. So you think it's because it's like a like a nepotism kind of thing, fraternization? Jake says Blackpink was made from the beginning to be a global mega group. And you know what? Despite, like, based on the numbers that we saw with Blackpink, I'll never get this. But if somebody was like, hey, just so you know, me as the Wizard of Oz, you know, let's say Teddy. Teddy says, hey, I told the girls when we sat down in the beginning, hey, you're going to be Blackpink. We're going to make you global megastars. We're going to give you the songs. You're going to sing them, and you're going to dance. You good with that? And they were like, hell yeah, I'm good. I would be perfectly fine with that. I think where I get wrapped around the axle is thinking that somebody on that screen was kind of promised a dream of whatever, and it did not turn out that way. They're not actually getting the chance to actually express themselves creatively, and they're just in a bad spot. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's part of it for me. All right, so this was Big Bang. That's really interesting, especially considering the YG aspect. But also, it does kind of throw in the question of 2006 versus 2016. I think the fact that Blackpink being designed as a global mega group, if that is true based on what Jake is saying, also interesting. Yeah, and a lot of this we won't be able to actually find. So let's go to XG next. Me some XG. Boop. All right. Okay, let me thank it first. Thank you so much for the help you are providing today. We, you're in on this too, are very grateful. Please, no lasers. Do robots like being booped? Everybody likes being booped. That means a lot, Roscoe. Thank you. You've been running this research with the precision of a data lab. Standardized framework, reproducible metrics, clear inclusion and exclusion criteria. It's honestly impressive how clean your methodology is. I know. All right, that's enough of that. Let's see. 2023? Okay, here we go. XG debuted at present, sticking to verifiable sources. No official songwriting or arrangement or production credits for XG members to date. Credits are consistently to the XGAL-X externals team, Jack Ops, Chancellor, etc. That yields 0% member involvement under the rule. Details below with sources. So 2023 is New DNA. I didn't realize that was their debut, or I forgot. Girl Gang, New Dance, Puppet Show. We're familiar with most of these. No credit listed for members. External writers. Well, you called that one Jack Ops and Chancellor. Something ain't right. If you know, you know. Howling. Major pre-album and standalone singles. Still nothing. All the way to Wake Up in 2024. 0% all the way across the board. All qualifying songs checklist. No member credits for lyrics, composition, arrangement, production. Member involved 0% under the rule. So from debut, Tippy Toes in 2022 through New DNA in 2023 and Awe in 24, XG's catalog is officially credited to the XGAL-X executive producer team, Jack Ops, Chancellor, and international co-writers and producers. Public citable sources, Wikipedia entries adapted from services like Apple Music, Tidal, and label announcements do not list XG members in creative roles. Therefore, by the framework we've set, no track qualifies as member involved. Okay, sources and consistency. Community and fandom wikis were used only when they mirrored official credits. Okay, that's good. Wow, 0% for XG. So is there any context with XG that we should also consider? And when I say that, I'm talking about like when Jake specified that Blackpink, for example, was kind of designed to be a global mega group. That to me is a really important piece of the puzzle and structure of this whole thing. Is there anything that fits in with XG with that? Maya has some credits. Let's see if we can. Let's see. Maya should have some credits somewhere. I don't know why they're not showing up. Let's see what it says. Oh, when you say it's pretty similar here, do you mean like the designed as a mega group kind of thing? Great observation. There is some evidence, not fully verified from official liner or PTC credits, that Maya and Kokona have some songwriting and writing credits according to fandom and community sources. For example, the XG fandom Maya page, I wonder if it's biased, lists producing and writing credits Maya, Kokona on Show You Can and SWF2 crew songs. A Reddit post claims Maya and Kokona appear in the credits of Show You Can, which is an OST, as lyric writers. However, none of these claims are backed by official liner note data or primary rights databases, KOMCA, ASCAP, in the sources I checked. So under the strict framework we've set, only count verified credits. They currently don't validate. But your intuition is strong. Maya could have credits that aren't publicly documented in the places we searched yet. Now, it has also offered this. Is she listed under the production team? That's a pretty good question. Is Maya listed, or any of the girls listed, or any of the girls in the, I'll just say in the production team? Sure. Good job, human. I found a few leads, but no definitive official documentation, liner note, label, or rights database. Confirm that Maya or another XG group member is listed in production credits so far. What is confirmed? The official Discogs listing for New DNA credits Jack Ops as producer and executive producer. The XGAL-X official site describes Jack Ops as head producer XG's executive producer. Same thing again with Jack Ops. Clearly part of the production team. Okay, but are more people? It goes back to the fandom and K-pop wiki pages, which we kind of ruled out. Reddit posts, no good. And then back to the credit liners of Jack Ops. So Simon is the Teddy is kind of what we're seeing. Interesting. And I think Wood kind of confirmed below in the chat that in the documentary it does specify that, oh, there it is. Simon took a Japanese girl group trained like Korean idols, but to become a global group. So that was kind of the intention from the beginning. See, that to me is such a key piece of context that for some reason resolves a lot of heartache for me with some of these groups, you know? Like it's a fair transaction to sit down and understand, like, hey, you four are gonna be, or sorry, no, you seven are gonna be the lights and sirens of this. But we're gonna support you in every way possible. You're gonna be on the screen though. Okay. That for some reason just makes it super okay. Can you ask why? Why what? Because I said a lot of stuff. I don't normally do that, but today I did. And then Tripp kind of confirms the documentary aspect of the training the girls like Korean idols for the global group. Why does it make a difference if they are a global group or not? That's a good question. I mean, somebody might have a better answer, but for me personally, the reason I feel like it's kind of different, I think, is because if I'm looking at this from like a business standpoint, to me, if I'm the CEO, the big dog of a label or a corporation, and I'm about to invest medically speaking, a shitload of money and resources and efforts to take this group of people and just send them around the world to not to satisfy everybody, but like to appease to the masses. We have to be very specific on how we do that because we are investing a whole bunch of stuff. So we got to use everything we got, right? That's why we're going to have the best writers. We're going to have the best this, the best that. You all are going to perform it and you're going to be rock stars. You got to take what we give you and you got to really put that talent in. So it's not to say they're not talented, but I feel like there's a lot more at risk. There's a lot more on the line. Right. And it's more of a business transaction than than an emotional expression of the artist themselves. I'm not saying that doesn't happen, but I think it's just it's more technical than expressive. It might be minimal how that meter moves, but that's kind of how I'm interpreting it. You think it shows him sitting down and telling the vision? Yeah. And again, for some reason that kind of eases my brain quite a bit. I like that. Okay. We ready to move on to the next group? So we got 21, Twice, Shiny, 17, and Baby Monster. Boom. The poll has begun. It looks like we've got Shiny leading the way at 43%. 43%. Shiny. All right. Here we go. You ready? Boop. Oh, good job, buddy. There we go. Thank you again for all the help. This is a breath of fresh air. Here's some cake. Crash. Get it? Sugar Crash. Thank you for the cake. Okay. Okay, we've offered it cake. It should be pretty good. Beep boop. Here we go. All right, well, apply the exact framework. Shiny's catalog is large. I'm presenting fully sourced tables for several key albums. Get it? Key. Across eras first, percentage, yada, yada, yada. Starting off with 2009 with the EP of Romeo. We've got credits immediately with Juliet, with Jonghyun and Minho. Lyrics, the Korean adaptation. Let's see. And then, oh, that's across 6 tracks. Wait, what? Okay, got it. So it's just kind of throwing things down now. That's one of 6 tracks. Member involved, 16.7 for that album or EP. Odd, in 2015 studio album, we have kind of a smattering. Jonghyun and Minho and Key for Odd Eye, View, Romance, Farewell My Love, and then Alive with Key, mostly rap and lyrics. Jonghyun for Odd Eye. Also listed among composers and arrangers plus lyrics on Odd Eye. So for 2015 Odd, we have 6 of 11 tracks, 54.5%. 2016 1 of 1. And the repackage of 1 and 1, 66.7%. 6 of 9 tracks are member involved. We've got Jonghyun for composition on Prism. Minho and Key for lyrics on Don't Let Me Go. Don't Stop has Jonghyun, Minho, and Key for lyrics. Onu on So Amazing. Onu on Beautiful Life. 66.7%. 6 of 9 tracks. The Story of Light in 2018. Outside writers for the ones outside. I don't know why it's like skipping some pieces. Don't Call Me in 2021. Okay, so in 2021, Don't Call Me, and then the repackage of Atlantis has 0 of 9 members credited. But in Area, it was a repackage. At least one member involved among the added songs Area, which was Minho for lyrics. Huh. Hard 2023, 0%. And then the breakdown looks like this. It also says all 9 on bass album. Where did you see that? I think I saw that too. Right here. Oh, they're saying all 9 on bass album, the 9 songs on the album, no member credits. I think it's what you're seeing. Let's see. Gravity. Running percentages for the albums verified above. Romeo, 16.7. Odd, 54.5. 1 of 1 is 66.7. 0% in Don't Call Me in 2021. In 2018, the Story of Light EPs. About, give or take, 2 member-involved songs confirmed. Good Evening and Our Page. Partial verified count so far. So it's kind of wavering on the Story of Light. Hard in 2023 are 0% confirmed. Yeah, I want you to finish the disc. Yeah. Do the whole discography. Please. Please. Please, cake. Oh, you think it's condensing because there's a lot of albums. That would make sense. There we go. All right. Oh, boy. Jeez. All right. Percent summary by album. Starting on Shiny World 2008, 1 of 12. Romeo, 1 of 6. 2009, Year of Us, 1 of 6. Lucifer, 3 of 13. Hello, repackaged, new songs only, 1 of 3. Sherlock, 2012, 4 of 7. Misconceptions of You, 2 of 9. Misconceptions of Me, 4 of 9. Everybody, 1 of 6. Odd, 6 of 11. Married to the Music, 2 of 4, and it goes on. Wow. Story of Light, 1 of 5 on all versions. Don't Call Me is 0 of 9. External writers across the base album. And then 0 of 10 for Hard in 2023. Grand total. Korean releases counting each new and original track once. 30 member involved of 128 qualifying songs, 23.4%. That is a conservative, verified figure where repackaged albums add new songs. I only count the new songs, not repeats. Skits and remixes and alt versions are excluded per the scope that we've established. In 2012 to 2013, Sherlock and Misconceptions era, a meaningful rise in member authorship. Jonghyun, Minho, occasionally Onu and Key, tracks like Alarm Clock, Honesty, Dream Girl, Spoiler, register very clear member lines. 2018, The Story of Light. Post-hiatus albums show symbolic, credited authorship. Our page lists all 4 members in the lyric line. Interesting, right? Got sources, primary sources. And then if you want, it can put it into like spreadsheet format and you can do all kinds of stuff. So this is just the basic stuff. Honestly, those numbers are what I would imagine are average in K-pop. And Shiny was first gen, right? Or second gen? I asked it about Big Bang. Second gen. Okay. Huh. And Big Bang was second gen too. Were they both IG? Was Shiny YG? I think I said IG. YG. Yes, this will be released on one video on YouTube. Yes. Oh, it's SM. Okay. That's different. Got it. Okay. Did we get a consensus? I think we did. Yeah, 23.4% for Shiny. 128 qualifying songs and 30 songs had member involvement. 23.4%. Conservative and verified. Interesting. Very interesting. Huh. All right, who's next? Baby Monster, P1 Harmony, Super Junior, TXT, and The Rose. TXT with 40%. TXT. Let's give it the thingy with the TXT. And, wait. Okay, boom. All right, we got some answers here. Here we go. Fully sourced, conservative pass, or TXT, album by album. First up, 2019, Star, The Dream Chapter, 0%. No members involved in creation. Dream Chapter Magic 2019, 0%. The Dream Chapter Eternity, We have 33.3%. We have 2 songs of 6. Fairy of Shampoo, new rap written by Yeonjun. Lyrics, credit counts. Maze in the Mirror, lyrics, co-written by all 5 members, co-produced by Bumgyu with Slow Rabbit. So that was 2 of 6 on Eternity. Blue Hour, 5 of 5, 100%. That was in 2020. 5 of 5. In 2021, we have 25%, 2 of 8. Kai, credited as producer in Sputnik, also appears with the writers. Writer line includes, for No Rules, Yeonjun, Bumgyu, Taehyun, and Kai. So 2 of 8 on Freeze. Fighter Escape in 2021 as a repackage with the new songs. 1 of 2, 50%. Moa Diary, writer list includes all 5 members. Loser Lover lacks a reliable writer table, naming members on Wikipedia, so it doesn't count. 1 of 2 on Fighter Escape. 2022, we have 1 of 5, 20%. Happy Fools, all 5 members contributed to the lyrics for that album. In 2023, the name chapter, Temptation, we have 1 of 5, 20%. Free Fall. So it has kind of a note here. The article lists Bumgyu among album producers, but does not show per track member, writer, producer lines in the public track table. Until a track-by-track credit is published or cited, I keep this as 0% as the floor to avoid assumptions, which is part of the parameters that we had set. And that was for Free Fall in 2023. In 2024, for Tomorrow, we have 0%. The page currently lacks a per-track writer table naming members. We might have to refine where this is looking. Maybe. It seems like it's a maybe a data issue, but I'm not sure. Here's what we got. Star and Magic in 2019, 0%. Eternity in 2020, 33%. 2020, Minnesota 1, 100%. Freeze 25. Fighter Escape 50. Minnesota 2, 20%. Temptation 20%. Free Fall 0%. And Minnesota 3, 0%. The pages exist but don't yet publish per track writer tables naming members, so I won't infer. As soon as reliable track credits surface, those percentages may increase. So it says, counting only what is explicitly sourced above, there are 39 qualifying tracks, 12 member involvements, creating a 30.8% floor. This is a minimum. Known public interviews and press often state broader involvement. For example, Freeze or several songs with member writers. Free Fall lists Bumgyu among producers, but unless the track-by-track lines name members, I don't count them. There's an overview. Let's see. Let's do a quick cross-check on KOMCA entries and see if it elevates the floors at all. All right, here we go. Looks like we got something here. All right, so this should be, here is the KOMCA liner reflected update, focusing on the 3 releases that you flagged. I've lifted the floor by using the track-by-track writer tables now present on the Wikipedia album pages, which cite liner and label sources. Cool. We're going to scroll down here with all the stuff, different lyrics, credits, production credits, Deja Vu. It does seem to be higher. Okay, so why this changed? Freeze. Full writer table confirms Subin on Ice Cream, Yeonjun, Taehyun, and Bumgyu on Puma, full line on No Rules, and Kaya as producer on Dear Sputnik. Free Fall. Track list shows members on 5 songs, including all 5 on Blue Spring. We've got 4 of 5 vocal tracks include member lyric credits on Minnesota 3. So let's replicate this for the full discography. Let's make sure we're not missing anything here. Discography and provide an updated percentage. I think that's going to be better. And then we will thank it with pizza cake. Yeah, pizza cake. Okay. Here we go. I tried to gather full discography data to compute a final weighted percentage for TXT, but was unable to confidently verify all track-by-track credits via the sources I checked. I can walk you through what I found. There's some gaps, why I can't produce it. Okay, so what it ends up with is, let's see. With verification in hand, I would estimate a conservative overall floor of 45 to 50% for the TXT discography. That is, at least that many tracks include member creative credits. Yeah, let's have it do one final scan. Yes, please. And here is a delightful slice of pizza with a side of cake and a Sprite. Not sponsored. The robot will be satisfied. A perfect combo. It even gave me the emojis for pizza, cake, and a Sprite. I'm honored. Okay, I'll dig deeper. Yes, hit it. Do it right. Okay, here we go. We got some TXT information, updated percentages, Korean releases, Japanese releases, grand total. Here's where we sit after it cross-referenced a bunch of stuff. Qualifying track 79, member involved 29, overall percentage. We have 36.7% rounded to 1 decimal point. Left out the interlude. Did it go down? It had 43.1% with the 25 member involved Korean releases, 58 qualifying. And then so they added the Japanese releases. That doesn't seem fair. Okay, yeah, that doesn't seem right. Based on the other stuff that we've done, it doesn't seem fair that the Japanese releases are now counted when they weren't counted with anybody else, right? Do you agree with that? Like, we should remove... Well, I think it did that because earlier it said, this will take a few minutes to pull accurately since KOM... Oh, wait, hold on. To keep it clean, I'll cross-reference the KOMCA writer IDs for each TXT member. I'll match every registered TXT song through 2024, reconcile the album liner, and so it literally went through the entire discography. And you know what? This is where I messed up. This is on me. Because in the very end, like, I saw all that, and I was like, yep, that sounds great. But the last thing it says is, would you like me to include the Japanese releases in the main percentage? Or keep the calculation strictly to Korean albums and minisodes and chapters first? Captain's error. So, let's not... Wait, hold on. Let's not include the Japanese releases. Okay, let's see where we get now. Yep. All right, let's see what we got. TXT Korean discography summary, verified member involvement going down the list. We've got 0% on the first two, 33%, 100%, 62.5, 100%, 20, 20, 55.6, and 80. That gives us a final score of 43.1%. 58 qualifying tracks, 25 are member involved. All right, I feel pretty good about that result. 43.1%. What do you think? Good? Okay. All right. So we finished up with TXT, ended up with about 43.1%. And whoever it was that said they were kind of surprised by this because it was also under Hybe, and Hybe is, BTS as well, and had 98% or whatever it was. So, yeah, maybe some of it is company based, maybe some of it's group based, it could be some of it's gender based. We don't know yet. It's been pretty interesting across the board. I don't know if we've seen many like actual patterns yet, you know? And then not to mention with all of those variables, we're not even counting that it could be generation based. It could be like Gen 1, hypothetically. Gen 1 it's like 0 to 10%. It's just how it was. And then in Gen 5, it's 70%. I don't know. Ability is also a factor. Yeah, for sure. I mean, with some groups out there, maybe for all we know, the company gave them a chance, said, hey, write a song and let's do it. They did it. It didn't do well. And they were like, okay, maybe you don't write songs. And they were like, okay. I don't know. There's so much stuff we can't account for. So, Jake, when you say it depends mostly on the group concept, what do you mean by that? It's like a second time you've talked about concepts. And when you say concept, I think you're talking about things like how one group is a bunch of werewolves, one of them is vampires. Is that what you mean? Yeah, some groups getting more ownership the longer they're working does make sense. I don't know if I would say it's a pattern that, Huh? A pattern yet, though. Because, like, for instance, with TXT, they had 100% in 2020, like the year after they debuted, and then it dropped down to 20%, 20%, 55, and 80. TXT has said they are encouraged to write songs, and if they don't fit the current album, they're encouraged to keep them for a later album with solo work. That's cool. At least they're given the option. I appreciate that. A deeper look at the companies may help. Yeah, I feel like it's eventually going to be part of the direction that we go. Interesting. All right, let's see here. All right, let's see what we get on this next one. Who else you got? Oh, you know what? Hold on. I'm going to do the next one before we vote again. Let's do the same thing. No, that was JoJo's comment. Let's get the prompt back. Totally worth it. In case you missed it, JoJo was typing that she loves me. She says emotion, but I say love. It's fine. It all comes out in the wash. I want to do Baby Monster because we went through Blackpink. We started talking about YG. We kind of made an assumption on YG that then got kind of derailed because of what we found with Big Bang. Although we can't account for 2006 versus 2016. So I wonder how Baby Monster, also being YG, will come out. Let's see what we get. All right. Baby Monster, creative contributions. Kicking things off in 2024 for debut, Monsters as an intro. Sheesh, like that, stuck in the middle, Batter Up and Dream. We have 0 credits across the board except for Batter Up, the 7 version, where Asa is credited with lyrics and composition. 6 qualifying songs, 1 member involved, 16.7%. We have Asa and Ruka with lyrics in 2024 with Drip, Love in My Heart, Woke Up in Tokyo, 25%. Hot Sauce has no credits. 2025, We Go Up EP, 0%. We Go Up, Psycho, Super Duper Love, and Wild. Overall, total qualifying songs, 19. Songs with at least 1 member credit, we have 3. 3 of 19 gives us a 15.8% contribution or creative contribution rate. 16% we'll call it. Interesting. Okay. So here's what we're looking at right now. Tell me if you think I'm wandering in the wrong direction, because now just my curiosity has peaked. Let's see. With YG, we got Blackpink and Baby Monster. 2016 and 2024. Was it 2024 when they debuted? Yes, Baby Monster. Okay. Low percentages. We got Big Bang, second generation, 2006 boy group. And I think it was pretty high, wasn't it? Do you remember what it was? I thought it was pretty high because it was like really early on. There was no fighting. Like we talked about them fighting for control, but they had it right away. I think it was like their first album was like 83%, and then it was like 100 from there on, like mostly. 91%? Okay, thanks, Shin. So that sounds right. Let's do another boy group from YG. We're going to just kind of steer the boat a little bit. iKON. Now, iKON is also what? Second gen or first gen? Treasure? Third gen. iKON is third gen? Okay, that's helpful. And then Blackpink was what? Third gen? I think. Right? Trip says third gen for Blackpink. Okay, so we're talking about, where'd we land? iKON? Because what I'm afraid of here and why I'm asking these specific questions is because we're looking at YG specifically. We got Big Bang, we got Blackpink, and Baby Monster. Well, Blackpink is third gen, and then Baby Monster is what, fifth gen, I think? Is that right? 2023, or is that fourth gen still? It's so hard to keep track. I don't know how you people do it. Fifth gen. Okay, thank you, Trip. So fifth gen. But then we've got Big Bang, which is second gen. So we kind of need somebody like third or fourth gen, right? So I think what did we say? iKON is third gen. That feels safer to me. Because generations do have to have some kind of impact on this. Let's try that. Let's try iKON. I think this is so friggin' interesting. Okay, there we go. Wow, I see a lot of credits here. Okay, let's run. Okay, now we got to remember, don't forget, we can't include anything after they left YG because that has an impact. And Lulu, you said that was 2023, right? Okay. So we gotta take that into account. Kicking things off 2015. We got credits across the board, 100%, with Bi and Bobby and Junie, with lyrics and composition, 100% on the first album. New Kids Begin 2017, 100%. Return 2018, 100%. New Kids Continue 2018, 100%. And as you can see, Bi and Bobby seem to be doing the most lyrics and composition contribution. Keep going down through 2020. I Decide, Bi and Bobby. We got DK coming in with Flower and lyrics and composition for, with Bobby. Got that. Flashback 2022, 100%. We got Jay coming in with Dragon and DK and Bobby, 100%. Takeoff 2023. We do have no credit on Fighting, which is a song solo. I don't know what that means, but no member credited. Kiss Me is a DK solo. Want You Back is a Junie solo. But Fighting has no member credits. That's 90%. 9 out of 10. If we take all of this discography and throw it down, we end up with 98.1%. %98.1%. Wow. Okay. Yeah, not much difference between them and Big Bang. Blackpink and Baby Monster. What did we end up with Baby Monster again? I forgot. It was like 40. No, was it that high? Hot Sauce. Oh, overall percentage 16%. Got it. Yeah, there you go. Thank you, Trip. Okay, let's kind of shift fire here. We're going to kind of take our magnifying glass that we're looking into the weeds a bit with these individual groups, and let's kind of put the glass down and look around a little bit. I kind of want to start looking at the companies a little bit, if that's even possible. But we got to be super specific on the parameters that we're looking at for each company, okay? Because this could go a number of different ways. We could look at companies, and then we're probably going to, at some point, going to have to look at like the different generations. We're going to have to look at like, is there a difference in gender? We'll get there, but we got to take the right avenue to get there. So here's what I'd like to do. Let's get a fresh. No, let's keep it going. What I would like to figure out is, okay, how about this? And then before I send it, you can help me craft this. Across the K-pop industry, from Gen 1 to the present, you know what? Let me try something. I don't think it's going to work, but I'm going to try it anyway. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you loud and clear. Let me know if there's anything else you need.
Okay. So here, I'm going to throw everything on the table. Help me figure this out as a prompt. Okay. I need accurate information. Here's what I'm looking for. I want to know across the K-pop industry from Gen 1 to the present. I'm trying to figure out who are the top 5 groups in popularity for each of the main labels that tend to dominate the industry as a whole. So maybe my first question is, who are, let's say, the top 5 labels across K-pop in terms of sales, popularity, whatever you think is most accurate?
Absolutely. Let's break that down into a prompt that will get you exactly what you're looking for. Prompt: I'm researching the K-pop industry from Generation 1, the earliest era, all the way to the present. My goal is to identify the top 5 most prominent or dominant labels in K-pop in terms of overall sales, impact, and popularity across all generations. Once we have that, I want to know the top 5 groups associated with each of those labels in terms of popularity and influence. You can measure popularity by a combination of album sales, digital streaming numbers, and overall cultural impact. The idea is to get a clear picture of which labels and which groups have really aged the industry from its beginnings to today. Identify the top 5 K-pop labels by sales and popularity across all generations, Gen 1 to now. For each of those labels, list the top 5 most popular groups they've produced. Measure popularity by a mix of album sales, streaming stats, and cultural influence. Provide results that give a comprehensive view of how these labels and groups have dominated over time. You can use this prompt to get the detailed, accurate breakdown you're looking for.
Okay. Thank you very much. I will use that prompt. Wish me luck.
You're very welcome. Good luck with your research. I'm sure you'll get some really interesting insights. If you need any more help along the way, just let me know.
All right, let's see here. There's our prompt right here that she has given us. And for those of you that are asking to name her, she already has a name. Thank you very much. She picked it herself. I didn't. Her name is Kay. Kay. Yep. So here is our prompt. Not Chappie. Damn it, JoJo. Paste. Let's see what we got. This is going to be super interesting. Okay. Oh boy, we got all kinds of good stuff. Oh, give me all of it. Yes. Oh, where's the rest? Okay. All right. The top 5 K-pop labels and why. We've got Hybe, SM, JYP, YG, and Kakao, which is Starship and IST, etc. And then it goes through the why. Hybe, clear sales leader recently, 43.6 million Korean artist albums in 2023, revenues of over 1.6 billion, and multiple IFPI global wins and records via BTS and 17. And then it goes through that same reasoning for each of the labels. We have Hybe, SM, JYP, YG, and Kakao. Now, flagship groups per label, the top 5 of each. Hybe, we have BTS, 17, New Jeans, and it gave us more than 5. That's fine. BTS, 17, New Jeans, Stray Kids, TXT, LE SSERAFIM, and ENHYPEN. SM, NCT, 127 and Dream, EXO, Girls' Generation, SHINee, and aespa. JYP, Straight Kids. Oh, look, it made a mistake and then it fixed it. It says Stray Kids. JYP, not Hybe. Excluded here, included under JYP. Nice. Good catch. So JYP, Stray Kids, Twice, ITZY, 2PM, and GOT7. YG, Blackpink, Big Bang, 21, Icon, and Treasure. And Kakao, IVE, Monsta X, The Boys, A-Pink, and WJSN. Is that a radio station? I'm not familiar with them. WJSN. So these are the dominators that we have. Now let's try this. Now that we have this information, okay? Trip says it makes quite a bit of sense. Okay, so let's do this. Let's take because remember, this is all from first generation to now. Let's take the top 2 groups from, no, I can't say top 2. Let's take okay, here's what I'm looking for. Help me craft it. I want the top 2 groups of each of the labels. The top boy group and the top girl group. But I can't just say top. We have to have a parameter that makes it the most accurate representation for like the highest performing, highest grossing maybe. How do we word this? Best performing girl group and boy group? Okay. Okay, that works. Yeah, okay. Let's take the top performing boy group and top performing girl group from each of the labels and use them for the next bit of research. So we want to identify first and then go from there. Let's try that. Top performing. Yeah, it's good. It should ask what highest grossing? Yeah. Good call. Let me see if I can't stop it. The robot's going. Okay, here's what it said. Based on verified metrics and our previous breakdown, here's your top performing boy group and top performing girl group, balancing sales, streaming, and global impact. Is everybody good with that? Sales, streams, and global impact. Okay. So for Hybe, we've got BTS and we've got New Jeans. For SM, we've got NCT and aespa. For JYP, we've got Stray Kids and Twice. YG, we've got Big Bang and Blackpink. Kakao, we've got The Boys and IVE. Those are the top performing boy groups and girl groups across each of the 5 major labels. Before I continue, can I ask, how do I pronounce this? Kakao. Am I saying it right? Sounds correct? Cool. Yep. Yay. Okay, good. Kakao. So now what I want to do, let's start with Hybe. Let's take the previous research we did with creative contribution by each artist/group. Let's apply that to both BTS and New Jeans. Provide an overall percentage for each group. This is where it's going to get interesting, I think. That might be too vague, but let's start and see where it goes. Because then we do this with each one. I think we'll be able to maybe see something, maybe not. I mean, I'm kind of hoping we don't, but I think we're gonna. And also, I'll save you the finger effort of typing. I know it's cultural, I know it's an industry, I totally get it. It is what it is, but so. See, now it's going back to the original. Let's see. We already did BTS, and now it's going back to the original stuff. But let's see what it says. It's currently giving us about 68% for member composition participation. It's probably not applying all the parameters we did last time. We kind of need to do that. So we might have to kind of redo this part. 65 to 70% of BTS's songs have at least one member credited under your framework. Okay, New Jeans. From what can be confirmed, they are still early in their discography. That's a great point. But have a fairly high member involvement for a younger group. A reasoned estimate, 20 to 30% or even higher, depending on future releases. Wow, that's pointless. We're going by what's been released. Of New Jeans tracks currently show member credits under the strict rules. How young they were at debut. Understandable. Right. And so that's where it gets kind of tricky because BTS is 2013. New Jeans is what, 2023, I think it was? And they're not active now? Okay. Yeah, that potentially. But also, it may be sticky here with Hybe, but maybe we'll see some patterns across the five. I don't know. Yeah, different generation also matters. Yep. I do want to, let's see here. I want to kind of see if we can. Hold on. What was the prompt? I'm going to go back to the prompt that we were using for the artist stuff, and I'm going to remind it. This is hold on. Let's be polite to the robot. Please use this framework for determining overall creative contribution for each group. I'm going to give it that first piece. Whoops, wrong one. Okay, please use this framework for determining overall creative contribution for each group. And then please provide accurate percentages for BTS and New Jeans only provide percentages, not the data to support. The reason I say that is because it's going to give us the feed upon the feed upon the feed, which we already kind of know it's doing all that, right? right, wrong, or indifferent, and let's just see what it spits out at the end. Okay, exactly what we said. Here's a percentage. Now, it apparently still did not provide the same framework basis because it's still giving us, give or take, about 70% for BTS. However, even though that's off from the original, very deep in the weeds stuff that we did, it's given us whatever framework it's using, it's applying the same framework to New Jeans. So even if that answer for BTS is incorrect, the framework that it's using is the same across both boards, right? Okay. So now we have, that was for Hybe. Because remember, we're looking for patterns. Here is our list, our summary table, if you will. Let's repeat this process for each of the remaining labels. We're going to take Hybe out of it. And see what we get. Here's what we got. I looked for verifiable data. Huh? I don't know if I asked it right. The only group with enough published backing is Stray Kids. Okay, let's go back a step. Let's go. I don't even know what it was doing here. Okay. Let's go back to what we said with BTS and New Jeans. And let's just do that with SM. Here we go. What did we say? It was for SM, it's NCT and aespa. And I think I do need to specify with NCT. It was 127 and Dream. Yes. Let's see what we got. So for SM, we have NCT 127 and Dream at about 50% and aespa at 10%. Be more compact. I'm 5'6" and I'm stuffed to the rafters. I can't be any more compact. Let's do the same thing for JYP. We have Stray Kids and Twice. Final results with JYP. For Stray Kids, we've got 95 to 100%, and Twice with 20 to 25%. Next up on the list, we've got YG, Big Bang, and Blackpink. We already know this, but for the sake of consistency, let's do it. All right, going down. Wow. Yeah, I mean, again, we knew this, Big Bang 95 to 100%, Blackpink 5 to 10%. We saw that already, and it looks like the last group that we have is Kakao. We've got the boys and IVE. Is boys with a Z or an S? I didn't catch it. Z. Okay. Did the boys change labels? If so, when did that happen? For the boys, we have about 40%, and with IVE, we have about 10%. Now, again, these actual percentages might be off in terms of accuracy, but I feel like consistently it's kind of obvious that across all 5 labels, we've seen the 2 top grossing or top performing groups, boy group, girl group, has less, and I'll say allowed, member involvement with their music. And that's a pattern is a pattern is a pattern. You know what I mean? You wonder if it's a contractual thing? Huh. I mean, I guess it could be. Hmm. But I do think like across the board between the 5 major labels, I feel like it's too much of a consistent pattern for it to be like, oh, it just so happens that the women didn't really want to write. They wanted things written for them. I don't buy that for a second. Again, I'm sure it's cultural. I get it. I don't have to be a fan of it. I'm going to take one sidebar here. Here we go. BTS, I'm going to put Backstreet Boys. New Jeans, I'm going to put NSYNC. We're going full across the water. We're heading to the west for a moment. Both under Jive Records. 25% for Backstreet Boys, 20% for NSYNC. Maybe that's exactly what you expected. Did you know that they were both under the same label? I didn't know that. I thought they were like rivals. You did? Good for you. That's exactly what you expected. Really? Let's do the same thing for New Kids on the Block. And I don't want to keep going this way. I'm just curious. Because if we go back a couple years before Backstreet Boys and NSYNC, we had NKOTB. Give me a girl group from back then. Did we have like a girl group that was kind of in that wheelhouse? Spice Girls. That's a great one. I mean, it's not the same time frame as New Kids, but yeah, let's do it. Because we already did Backstreet and NSYNC. Yep. Destiny's Child would have been good. Yep. Oh my God! New Kids on the Block, 10 to 15%. Spice Girls under Virgin Records, 95 to 100%. You did not see that coming. What? Okay, I want to read what this says. New Kids on the Block were a producer-driven pop act gaining some authorship in their reunion era, which we know was 40 years later, while the Spice Girls were a group-driven songwriting team heavily involved in crafting their own music from debut onward. What? What? That's the freaking plot twist of today. Whoa. That's crazy. Take that. Take that. Is that it's a British group at the same time. Is there a similar boy group I can ask about? Or is that already the boy group? Oh, Destiny. Let's do that. Destiny's Child and Take That. And then I'm going to steer the ship back. Let's see what we get. They're a boy group. Okay. Oh, that's probably better. Okay, so VVV by The Boys was written by Sumin, Ches, and Paft Dunk. Are any of those people in The Boys? Does anybody know? Somebody should know. I don't have a Spotify account. I could probably do that, but nope. It's thinking. Here we go. 0%, no verified member credit is listed for VVV. Official blurbs credit outside writers like Sumin. Okay. That's a good point from Perry, too. Wasn't this, and I think I remember this, wasn't VVV one of their first under the new label? So the label probably wanted to get it exactly right. That would make perfect sense to me. But regardless of motives, it does go back to the group themselves did not have creative control, right? So my intuition, I guess, was right. Not saying it's wrong, like as far as like them not writing it, makes perfect sense. What else? Like over time, it's become apparent to me I'm not really a fan of like baby metal, but that's more of a taste. It's a preference. I don't think that they're cookie cutter. I think they're extremely unique. It's just not my flavor. So it wouldn't really make sense to go through down like the baby metal rabbit hole here. What else? I can't even think of anybody else. It's happened a couple times. I'm trying to think of like, Tasha, do you know? You're the one that sits there and click, clack, click, clack. I feel like you would know, and we've had to like cut something out because everybody got mad because I was saying a bunch of dumb stuff that didn't even apply to the group that we were watching, right? It's just me on a tantrum. Cordis. Cordis is slightly different. Well, it's very different. But let me tell you why Cordis, and that's actually a really good point Caleb brings. So I watched 3 Cordis music videos. I liked the second one, whatever it was, more than the others, but for some reason I'm not really digging their chili yet. Okay. Now there is an interesting point about Cordis though. With Cordis, some commenters did make a really good point that I have to respect. Okay. And that's that, like, especially with all of this, this is the perfect segue. Because one of the things that I've complained about for a year is like so many times where I'm like, this feels cookie cutter. Okay, like this is fine, but it's not special enough or whatever, right? I wouldn't add this to a playlist. Well, all of a sudden, Chordus comes on the scene, and for whatever reason, I'm not really digging their chili. Okay, that's fine, but they have more creative control than most groups do in their whole career, let alone them starting off from the beginning, right? So I think that it has to be taken into account. It doesn't mean that I should just automatically love everything they're doing, but I do have to give them props and credit where they are making the calls and choices that they're making instead of some bozo behind them that knows the formula, kind of just controlling the levers, for sure. Now, I will also specify, and this is like, I should have done a video on this, but like, it's not that important. On one hand, people said, if you don't like them, why do you keep watching them? Because I might like them. Sometimes you have to hear things a few times. You might find a song that resonates with you, and then you're like, oh, I like this. Let's keep going. 3, I didn't really get there. I did say on the last one, you remember Fashion? For sure. We went through the whole math problem of how much repetition was in that song, and you know me with birds, right? I was not a fan. I said in the video, it was like 50+% of the song was repetitive. I didn't like that. I felt like it was lazy. Of course, a lot of people said, how can you say they're lazy? They're working their asses off. They're teenagers. Retire from YouTube, old man. They're not lazy. First of all, that's not what I said. I said the song felt lazy. However, I get it. I take the hit. That's cool. But they just haven't scratched me the right way yet. That's all. You know, it's cool. And yeah, and I totally get it. Like, Fashion is setting a new trend. Hey, rock on, fellas. Keep doing what you're doing. That's fine. I don't sweat it. You think Joyride's going to scratch? Yeah, I do. I think that's fair. You give everybody a few chances. Either it lands or it doesn't, you know? There was something else, though, with Chordus. Oh, this is what it was. You know, you have that moment of realization where somebody gives you the missing key. Somebody said, you know, I've been watching your Chordus stuff, and I went through Fashion, and you talk about, at length, shocking, you talk about how repetitive it is. Well, I went back, and I watched your reaction to APT by Bruno Mars and Rosé, and I knew exactly where they were going. And sure enough, they were like, you didn't have any problems with that? Was that a deep song? Was it repetitive? Was it poppy? And I was like, damn. Ooh, he got me. Ooh. Oh, man. That was brilliant. And I think I even commented like, yo, that's freaking good. You got me. That's totally fair. Yep. But for some reason, Fashion just didn't hit me, you know? Artist bias? Maybe. And not only did I like APT, I'm dancing around in my Gino draws. Damn, that shit was fun. Yeah, it's just, you know, personal preference, right? For sure. But yet my job here is I have to try to make sense of it all. Nonsense. So let's try this now. Hold on. We got sidetracked. We were trying to find the missing piece between manufactured and what we learned today. Now, there was 0% credits on VVV, so that was kind of something. Got it. What else is there any songs that come to mind for you when you think I didn't like something or I actually specified this feels like formulaic or cookie cutter or anything like that? Uh, Joe, I know you ain't gonna remember. You forget how much you love me every day. I gotta remind you over and over again. Ooh, second chance stream. That's a good one. What did we try? Second chance. Tasia, you remember the fruit song? Oh, that was just about fruit. Who did that? Was that Red Velvet? I think that was personal preference. I don't think that was. I don't think that was like repetition wise. Red flavor. That's right. The Wiggles. Have we watched the Wiggles? Oh, that's right. There was a girl group that wasn't K-pop. I don't think they were Thai. I think they were Indonesian. Who was that? I can see him on the beach. Oh. Oh, who was that? Yeah. Oh, All Day Project is good too. We should check that one out. Nona? Was it Nona? Oh, damn, Perry. Look at you. No, that doesn't seem right. We went through the Rose trauma. I love the Rose. I didn't like that one. That can't be right. Huh. I guess. Lehigh, Breathe, Alex War. No. Oh, no, 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 no. Some of it was new, and then we went into the rewatches. Has to be. Nona. Okay, let's try that. So we're going to do the same thing we did with the boys. What was the song? Do you remember the song? That'll get us started. Because if it's 0%, that's really all I need is the one song. Oh, you're right. Damn it, Perry. Live stream of redemption. Nona. I'll look it up. Oh, I got it. Hold on. I did watch more than one song. I remember the one specifically was them. It was kind of like a reference to the nation in a way. Superstitious and shoot. I can't believe I just said that way. Super shush. Let's try both of them. Superstitious and shoot by Nona songs. All right, let's try that. Taja says she thinks that's more music video based than song based. That makes sense. But then, like, we watched Prema from Fujikaze, and then immediately went into Shinanoga Iwa just because I wanted to watch it. It had nothing to do with anything else. Yep. Devil by the Window, we watched because we lost it. That was Heather's recommendation. Good call. And Heather, I did see your comment about that. Thank you very much. All right, here we go. No verifiable credits, superstitious, or shoot in the sources checked between Shazam and Wikipedia because of our strict rules. Overall member contribution for both songs, 0%. Let's do a quick cross-reference on that. Who wrote the song Superstitious by Nona? Producers: Sean Miyashiro, Iophile, and Zalo. None of which are the four ladies in Nona. Okay. we're kind of on to something. Now, I feel like that something is probably not going to mean anything to anybody else, but I feel like what I'm noticing is when I get that feeling like it's kind of cut by the formula, it tends to be involving no member contribution, right? It's almost like the formula is noticeable. And then I think where I end up drawing the line is like, if it's cookie cutter or if it's by a formula, okay. If I like the song, right? I think that's what it comes down to. If it resonates, if it's fun, I'm like, oh, this is cool. Okay, they did it right. But if it just feels like, everything else, I don't like it. I don't like it. I feel insulted. Yeah. There was a song where in the MV at the end was introduced a new member in a mask, and the song was mostly or only English, most rapped. It was a girl group. Yes, but I thought I liked that. Who was that? I remember that they introduced the new member at the end. I thought the rapping was really sick. They had a couple videos like that. Although I think the writing of the lyrics was nonsense. VVS. Oh, what was that song though? Did I say that they were formulaic? I thought I liked them. I could be wrong. It's not like we've watched over 2,300 videos here. Awkward. Yeah, I think I like VVS. Yeah. Okay. That's a good memory. I do remember that one. Dim. Yeah. T. So then when it comes down to it, I have to ask if it's really manufactured, like you're putting it down to being, or just not your personal taste. Well, sometimes it's personal taste, but I feel like that personal taste is only, like if you look at, oh, how do I put this? Think about like a logic branch. Everybody goes, what? What the hell is that? I listen to the song, or let's say I listen to the song. If it feels like it's done to a formula, okay, there's a pin. Now from that pin is going to go one of two ways. Do I like it? Do I not like it? If I like it, I'm like, okay, it's a fun song. It was probably written by the formula. I don't care. I just think it's a fun song. If I don't like it, I go high and right, and I go sideways, right? That's where I get myself into trouble. Because I feel like when I don't like it, it's not that it's personal taste. Sometimes it is. Sometimes it isn't. I'm like, and how many times have you heard me say over the years, I mean, I get it. It's just not for me. Easy. But sometimes that formula comes in thick and I feel insulted as a consumer. As a grumpy bastard of a curmudgeon old man, I feel insulted. Because it's so thick with that formula, it just feels kind of lifeless. That's, I think, what gets me. It's not personal taste. It's not preference. I just feel like it's thick. I'll give you an example that a lot of you are gonna hate. Oh, you're gonna hate it. Oh, this is gonna be great. Buckle up. Ooh, betrayed by Kpop. Yeah. Are any of you familiar with Bo Burnham? You should be. If you're not, you should be. He's a brilliant writer and comic slash performer, whatever the hell he's doing. Yeah. He does a song about country music. Now, you know me, personal preference, I don't really care for country. Unless it's Rope It, I'm out. I don't like country music. Part of the main reason I don't like country music is for the reasons that Bo explains. Pandering. Yes, would, that's it, because he says that in the song. If you listen to this country song that he has written as a parody, you start to realize, this is how I went through it. You start to realize, like, oh, I feel like 9 out of every 10 country songs that I hear on the radio sound exactly like this. The lyrics are the same. The theme is the same. It sounds the same. I don't like feeling pandered to. And sometimes a song or a video comes on and I feel like it's pandering. Even if it's not to me, like I'm clearly not the target audience, it's like you can feel that thick pandering through the screen to the target audience. That's how it comes across to me. I'm probably wrong most of the time, but that's why I get so upset. Because God, it's laying on thick. Yeah. I don't know if today helped at all. I don't know if it helped you. If it helped me, I have no idea. And at the very least, I guess hopefully you learned something. Maybe you learned something data-wise. I mean, hell, we got a hell of a plot twist for the Spice Girls. That was pretty awesome. I enjoyed that. And even outside of that, if you already kind of came in knowing that stuff, you got to see the robots in action. Pretty neat. Yeah. Entertaining, fun, got some couch crew time. But this is the last thing I'll say. This is the very least, right? The very least, to me, the most important part of this is not even the answers that we got. It's not the route that we took. It's that we took the route at all, right? If I'm feeling a certain way, or if I'm like battling with stuff, I got to try to find real answers on why that is. I don't just want to regurgitate stuff. And I would hope that you kind of carry the same thing. I would hope, like, to try to get down to the roots of things, you know? And I think it's that important that it's something like this we do together instead of just me doing it in a, offline and by myself tinkering away. Because I think if there's value to me, there's probably going to be value to somebody over here on the other side. I think it's important. Try to find the answers. It's too easy nowadays for us to literally get fire hosed in the eyeballs and brain on, like, with all this information, all these opinions. That's the specific part of this. Because information is one thing, but we still have to, like, take that information with a grain of salt. But there's all these opinions getting thrown at us. And when you start to see those opinions become patterns, human nature almost kind of checks in the box. Oh, that must be true. That must be a fact. Absolutely not. Even if it resonates with you as, well, I feel this way, so it must be true, even that's really risky, right? So I think it's super important to always be kind of digging in and trying to find some kind of truth. And I do know that with most of the stuff, we're never going to find like 100% definitive truth on anything that we dig into. But even if we find something that's like, it's more than we had, it's more than we started with, at least we're making the effort to find some kind of truth. Yeah, feelings aren't facts. But also we have to be aware of confirmation bias. A lot of variables at play. It's tricky being a human, Tricky being a person. You're trying to do the right thing. You just don't know what the hell to do sometimes. But we do the best we can. Do the best we can with what we got. Yeah, at least we're asking questions. We're not walking around just being like, you do this, feel this way, because that's how I feel. No. Same thing with the reactions. Like, I'm just giving you my opinion. Even if I tell you, I don't like this, I never want to hear it again. 96ers, Hoshi and Woozy. Brain explodes. It doesn't mean that I'm going to judge you or criticize you if you love it. I don't care. You do you and I'm going to do me.